That year, Republicans won majorities in both houses of Congress for the first time in 40 years. Time magazine was aware of the event. They credited the Christian Coalition with giving the Republicans these successes, calling Ralph Reed the right hand of God. In 2000, 70 million voter guides were sent out to support George Bush. There have been 2 studies out of the Institute of Applied Politics at the University of Akron measuring the relative strength of the religious right in state Republican parties. The first was conducted in 1994. Red is where the religious right was strong in state Republican parties in 94, green moderate, and yellow weak. This is not where the Republican parties are strong, moderate, or weak. The study estimates the relative strength of the religious right within state Republican parties. The next study you're about to see was conducted in 2000. Look at what happened in those 6 years to the yellow, where the religious right is weak in state Republican parties. By 2000, they were weak in 7 states, all in the Northeast. A new study is due to come out soon. Where is Ralph Reed today? He's a regional director of the Bush-Cheney campaign, using the same tactics that he used when he was director of the Christian Coalition. According to the Atlantic Monthly, Reed has moved from doing God's work to doing George W. Bush's. Ralph Reed said that he received his political training at meetings of an organization called the Council for National Policy. ABC News reported on the council, vast right-wing cabal meet the most powerful group you've never heard of. That's because they've been meeting in strictest secrecy since 1983. The Reverend Tim LaHaye co-founded the Council for National Policy with the idea of bringing together hardcore religious leaders with far-right politicians such as Jesse Helms and Washington insiders. He also included the biggest financial backers of extreme right-wing causes. These people planned and carried out the political strategies of the Dominionist movement. Some of the 500 or so members include the people I've been talking about. On the top left, you see the late Rousas Rushdoony, father of the Christian Reconstruction movement, then Tom DeLay, and Republican strategist Paul Weyrich. Tim LaHaye is in the middle. On the bottom, you see Pat Robertson, Jerry Falwell, and Ralph Reed. These are the genuine leaders of the Republican Party, Barry Lynn told the New York Times. Barry Lynn is executive director of Americans United for Separation of Church and State. George W. Bush kicked off his candidacy for the president in 1999 by meeting with the Council for National Policy. They must have decided he was one of them, because leaders like Robertson and Falwell marshaled massive resources to support his presidency. Bush met privately with the council again this summer, just before the Republican convention, and again, the 2 leaders are supporting him with great enthusiasm. Falwell told a recent meeting of the Christian Coalition that their movement now fully controls the Republican Party. Pat Robertson based his work on 2 simple words: voter apathy. He wrote in 1990, "With the apathy that exists today, a well-organized minority can influence the selection of candidates to an astonishing degree." Voter apathy has worked well for the Dominionists, but that's changing now. According to the New York Times, there's been a real rise in political activism among young voters. Something else that's worked well for the Dominionists is voter ignorance. The media, even the liberal press, has had a real blind spot to the rise of Dominionism in government. But that may be changing now. There are many wonderful organizations working to wake up the public to extremism and intolerance in government. Here are a few, and they deserve to be supported. They're all easy to find on the web. Americans United for Separation of Church and State publishes Church and State magazine, which is really important. Everyone should subscribe to that. People for the American Way is a very big organization doing good work. Political Research Associates does a lot of good research, and their site, The Public Eye, is full of information. And the Interfaith Alliance is a clergy-led organization. So this is really the religious leaders. These are the religious leaders speaking out against the religious right. Then there's a small volunteer organization that's discovered it's possible to reach millions of people thanks to communications technology. We are reframing the public debate. Our power lies in the fact that we're providing a framework that makes sense out of the world around us. Our website gets thousands of hits a day. Our DVDs and CDs are passed all over the country. Those are powerful little tools. I'm convinced that most people would not support a dominionist agenda if they understood it. Their candidates have to use stealth. And a government run on the principles of dominion theology would not tolerate other belief systems because there's only one truth. There's no room for the kind of tolerance and diversity that makes our country a great nation. I believe the majority of people in this country value its diversity and will make good political choices when they are informed. We'll conclude with a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote when he was President of the United States to explain the meaning of the First Amendment. He wrote this letter to the Danbury Baptist Association to reassure them that in this new country they would be free to practice their religion. Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, I contemplate with solemn reverence that act of the whole American people which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. Thank you very much.